On to the markets.
Yes, taking a look at Wall Street, trading roughly flat this morning after yesterday's fairly extraordinary rally. Overwhelming sentiment is one of confidence that the US economy is on its path to a roaring rebound. So numbers-wise, the Dow slipped about 0.1%, the S&P 500 up about 0.1%, and the Nasdaq is up about 0.2 currently. Our own top 50 index fell 88 points in trading yesterday, about 0.75%, and it starts today at 12,400. A big selling of Meridian, Mercury and Contact Energy more than offset gains for Air New Zealand and tourism holdings. On the currency front, the New Zealand dollar 70.4 US cents, 92 Australian. And note, there was no change to policy from the Reserve Bank of Australia in its monthly monetary decision.
Now, it's nearly a year since the Reserve Bank started that emergency bond buying, amongst other things, to combat the impact of COVID-19. No sign, though, that it's going to be scaled down.
Yeah, so the key elements of the policy were an immediate slashing of the official cash rate and, of course, the bond buying program aimed at lowering the cost of borrowing and getting cash into the financial system. And so in recent weeks, the amount of bonds the Reserve Bank's been buying has fallen close to pre-COVID levels, and that matches a reduction in the amount of bonds being issued because the government's finances are in better shape than expected. But BNZ's senior interest rate strategist Nick Smith says the RBNZ will keep buying bonds to dampen any notion that it's planning rate rises sooner rather than later.
Its broad message was it expects monetary policy to remain accommodative for some time, and we suspect it wouldn't want to stir those, tightening or rate hike expectations by creating a sense that the program could be wound down earlier than June next year.
And more coming up from Nick Smith later in the program.
Now, buyer beware. Do your homework before you buy a car from a private seller.
Yes, so the Financial Services Complaints Organisation, it's funded by registered financial service providers. It says what it's seeing is increasingly people are having their cars repossessed after they bought them from sellers who didn't disclose that there was money still owed on the vehicle. So the FSCL, it only deals with complaints between consumers and lenders and not consumers and sellers. So it's been unable to help people who've had their car seized. But its Chief Executive, Susan Taylor, says lenders are within their rights to repossess vehicles, and it's up to buyers to do their due diligence before making a purchase.
There is a very simple step that people can take to absolutely check and make sure that there is no money owed on the car to a lender, is to check that personal property securities register and make sure that the car is debt-free, so to speak. If we can get more people thinking to do that, then hopefully it will prevent these types of cases that we're seeing.
And that was Susan Taylor from FSCL there, and I will be back with all the latest in business and markets in half an hour or so.